Today I'm going to talk about motivation. Motivation is, for somebody who's trying to achieve something in life, as important as all the learning that has to go with trying to make that achievement. The drive and so forth are absolutely vital, otherwise you might spend a lot of your life explaining why you didn't achieve what you wanted to. Now I'm going to break that into two. The first short video will be about teacher-inspired motivation. We'll all know that when you go to university or college, some teachers inspire you and really motivate you to master your subject. Others bore you to tears and you think, oh God, another 10 minutes and I really would like to have a coffee, etc., etc. So what do the first ones do that's good and the second one not do that's good? And the second part of the video will be about self-motivation. Irrespective of what your teachers inspire in you, are you a self-motivated person? And what are the characteristics that you've got or could acquire that will make you one? Because this will make a lot of difference to how much you achieve in life. So let's start with part one. Part one is whether the teacher can inspire you, and I'm speaking about it from the point of view of the teacher or lecturer. Firstly, and possibly most important, enthusiasm. If the teacher is enthusiastic for the subject, he or she will convey that, and that will rub off on quite a large percentage of the class. Correspondingly, if he's not enthusiastic, it'll become very apparent that he finds it boring, and so will the people in the class. So number one is enthusiasm. Number two is that he organizes the class in such a way that he gives positive feedback to each of the students. He gives them work to do, and when they've done it, if they don't do it well, he starts by saying, yeah, that was very good, but I wonder whether, and then he adds the criticisms, rather than, my God, that was a lot of rubbish, take it back and do it again. Suddenly, motivation just disappears. The third one is you give responsibility and a feeling of choice to the students. You give them the ability to choose between one part of the course and another one, often suddenly different electives, and you give them the chance to have different roles in the class. And if you do that, they feel that they're part of something that is active and dynamic. They're not just sitting there listening in. And fourthly, you make the student an active participant. They are, building on what I've said before, really taking part with you in making an event something memorable. Now those are the 4 points that I would make that enable a lecturer not just to know his subject and to convey that subject, but to make his class enthusiastic and highly motivated about that subject. So that's part one of the video. Now part two of the video is, irrespective of the teacher, how do you motivate yourself? Well, firstly, it's possible to take the view that some people are motivated and others aren't, and that it's an inherent factor that, yeah, that guy has drive and that one doesn't. To some extent, I can be sympathetic with that, but it is also possible, if we look to the various characteristics that I believe are key in developing some self-motivation, to develop the qualities that will enable you to be motivated, even if before you thought about it, you were rather a laid-back sort of character. So, what's the first one? Well, psychologists talk about an NH, which means a need for achievement. And that is, we start something new, and some people are determined to master it. Others just say, this will take half an hour, let's have a game, doesn't matter. Maybe you've just taken up tennis. Now, the people with a great need to achievement, they'll probably take coaching lessons, they'll spend more time than the other new tennis players, and they'll want to beat people, not just have fun, but to actually win, and then move on. They'll go in for competitions, they'll try and win what the football people call the silverware, to get the cup at the end of the day, rather than be second or just get to the semi-finals. So the need for achievement, a lot of that's inherent, and you see that sometimes in your colleagues, but you can develop it in yourself. Secondly, commitment to personal goals. This builds in the same way, but it's a bit more specific. At different times in your life, you can look ahead, say 2 years, and say, well, what I'm doing at the moment is fine, but within 2 years' time, I would like to be, let's say, earning 30,000, 40,000 a year rather than say 20 as when I just come out of university, or I want to be married, or I want to have bought myself a house. Whatever it is, select some achievable goals and then drive towards those goals rather than just wait to see what happens in your life. If you're highly motivated, you have to be motivated against something that has some focus. And if you have that, then you're more likely to achieve those goals than if you didn't know what the goals were in the first place. The third one is an initiative to take advantage of opportunities. In 1975, believe it or not, I saw a frisbee flying in the Hyde Park. I said to my partner at that time, that is going to be the next big thing. And I jumped on a plane to Los Angeles next day and said, I would like to sell your frisbees in the UK once I've discovered that, in fact, Whammo Manufacturing Inc. was the licensor and inventor of the frisbee. They allowed me to do that, and I built frisbee into quite a big business, big little business if you like. We sold 2 million frisbees in 1998. That's a lot of frisbees. That's taking advantage of an opportunity of just seeing something flying in the park. That doesn't often happen, but when it does, you have to know when to grab it and when to actually do something. The fourth and last one I've got is optimism and look to the future. I've known so many colleagues who have spent a lot of time discussing what happened, if not yesterday, then last year, then the year before that. Who cares? That's gone. We can never change the past, so why bother about it? We don't know what's going to happen in the future, so, well, we can have goals, but don't worry too much about it. We have to take it step at a time. We can deal with now. So what are we going to do in terms of decisions now? So always focus on now and what we're going to do in the future, and never worry about the past. And those are my 4 bullet points on the subject of motivation.